All right, Stochastic, here we go. It's your old pal EMac coming to you on a Saturday. Oh, wait, no, it's a Sunday. Every day's a weekend, and I get to hang out with my buddy Eric Lindquist as we get ready to talk a 5-game DraftKings slate, a 4-game FanDuel slate, and then no references to Yahoo. They broke themselves. They're going with the 3-game main slate, which is it's not fun, Eric, because I'm in a bunch of those leagues that you set lineups like every day or twice a week or whatever, and you just compete against the same people over and over for the pool of money. Normally, they don't do them on 3-game slates, but they are today. Very sad. Too much overlap.
Oh no! I'm so sorry. Tears for fears.
Shout. Welcome to the big chair.
See, this is why I like you more than Greg. Just the first minute, there's rapport, there's some love. There's this tangible thing that exists where you can just play off of my ridiculous pop culture all the time. So
let's create a mad world.
Okay, now you're trying too hard. Now you got to tone it down. There's a middle ground. There's a middle ground to live in.
Good times. Yeah, we were banished. You're banished to this show with me. Greg said we're gonna hit the like button a lot because we need to prove Greg wrong.
Yeah, Greg was really mean, by the way. I had nothing to do with it. Here's the thing. I get eviscerated on pretty much every show all the time. So it's hard for me to have sympathy when somebody else gets made fun of. But, you're a good sport and you're so loved.
Yes. All righty. Well, let's talk some basketball here. We're 2 minutes into the show and we're already getting calls to talk basketball. Again, tip-off is at 6:00 tonight. It is 4-gamer, as I mentioned, on FanDuel. They're skipping the late game. We've got some injury news. I don't think we have too much pending. We actually got, let me get that page up. We got the gift here that Donovan Mitchell is going to be out. So that was, I think, the last real major piece that we were waiting on here. Quentin Grimes is questionable. Game time decision there. He's dealing with a sore knee. That's really not going to move the needle too much. Brandon Miller was ruled in. Bruce Brown got downgraded to questionable earlier today. He is out for Toronto. So Toronto is kind of missing a lot of people. Karis LeVert, questionable. I think he missed the last game as well with an elbow sprain. OJ Anunoby still out, but you do have Isaiah Hartenstein has rejoined the rotation. He is working his way back up to standard minutes here, but it's been a bit of a slow climb. And then the other major, I'm going to call it major, Julian Champagny is out for San Antonio. So that could lead to Keldon Johnson moving back into the starting
Malachi Branham's season. No, they're not going to start Keldon Johnson. No way.
Really? Why have they banished him to the bench?
They're just suppressing his minutes in the lost season. Same thing they're doing with Wembanyama, where why do you want to be pushing them? Why do you want to go out of your way to really try to force a season that you want to get the best draft pick and you just kind of want to get the cobwebs off for Wembanyama early in the season and now just playing 30-32, showing everybody what he's capable of. But I'm pretty sure Blake Wesley will be the guy who gets the starting nod, and then you'll see some more minutes from the likes of Malachi Branham. But I would be very, very, I'm 90% certain that Keldon Johnson doesn't start.
Yeah, interesting, because he has had 8 of his last 11 games have been 21 or less fantasy points, something like that. His salary has gone down quite a bit there on DraftKings.
And now you're playing Indy, which is always obviously the intriguing part here.
Right. And then in the final game of the night, looks like we have clarity. Eric Gordon will be rejoining the team. He has missed a few games there with the groin issue. Devin Booker sprained his ankle last night. He is not playing tonight. In a bit of a surprise, Yusuf Nurkic is listed as probable. He left kind of midway through the second quarter last night with a sore neck. Did not return for the second half, so that was a bit of a surprise. And then you've got Bradley Beal, who will be playing on the back-to-back. We don't know he was on limited minutes or a minute's watch last night.
I would say he's the most annoying piece of this slate to me because we've got him in for 28 minutes. I think he was on pace for right around 30, probably. I mean, 20 got the bolt in the 7-minute mark of the third quarter yesterday. Would have maybe played another couple minutes there, maybe 6-7 minutes in the fourth. I don't know. I think 28 is probably the right projection there, but I do think there's like 30-minute upside. And what it does is it basically like eradicates any interest I have in these ancillary pieces. Like OKC, yeah, they bring pace, and just defensively, they're going to be able to do a lot more without Devin Booker out there on the floor. And Nurkic, yeah, I'm surprised that he's playing as well. So we're not getting the value to like a Bol, maybe a Drew Eubanks. Obviously, I think he would have been the guy who got the start, but Royce O'Neal, he's starting, but he's 5,300 now. Grayson Allen is, priced up there 5,900, was going to nuke of the night him. And then obviously Eric Gordon ends up in. So I hate getting to Phoenix outside of Durant and Nurkic, and we'll get to that one. But God, is that an annoying run out for the Phoenix stuff, because that game locks 2.5 hours after everything else. We're back to late swap here after Friday's experiment. Hopefully that's what it was, but we will find out. It ended up being a decent night for me and a lot of subs, so happy for that. But anyway, I wanted to throw that in for the Phoenix take right off the bat, because not going to be a ton I'm trying to late swap into there.
No, and that's kind of as we start in on the guards here. Guess what? 102.50 Boston over Golden State. Both
Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. They've got Svi Mikhailuk out there at the 5:46 mark of a nationally televised ABC game. What a time to be alive. O'Shea Brissett out there just creating havoc. Peyton Pritchard's probably going to go completely bonkers, and they still have Moody out there running. So that's good for the one lineup that I made there in the early session. But I played so much golf. I'm excited to get off of this and watch a little bit of the golf. It's going to be pretty dark out there in Florida in about an hour when we're off of this, but there'll be a little bit of stuff to watch.
Indeed. Turning our attention here to chat, we did get 5 YouTube subs handed out there by our favorite Apple guy, Chris Williams. Super chat here from Shane Daly. He says, I hate that word, he says, said out loud while making my lineups, I love Dick way too much tonight. Do you have thoughts?
I have thoughts that I'm being very careful, because I understand that what lives on the internet forever lives on the internet forever. And when you have phrasing, you must be careful of such things. But I also like Grady Dick today, so that is fun.
All right, let's start at the top here. We'll go with some of the premium guard options. Running, kind of lumping everything together, because multi-position eligibility has made this a little tricky. You've got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is coming in with the second highest fantasy point projection on DraftKings. He's not on the FanDuel slate. He is rivaling Wembanyama at this point. You also have Tyrese Halliburton, who is significantly cheaper, $1,500 price point or a price discount there. Halliburton coming off arguably the worst game of the season, in contention to be the worst game of a career. He was 0 for 6 from 3, 0 for 7 overall from the field, 3 boards, 3 assists, and a turnover. He had 7.75 DraftKings points in 23 minutes. How are you feeling about him? Is that just one of those days, or do you think he's still dealing with his hamstring?
Just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't know why, but you want to justify ripping someone's head off. Tyrese Halliburton, 10%. I'm interested in going back to the well. Can we establish that Herbert Jones makes life hell? New Orleans, they have some guys that it was just a bad shooting day followed by a complete blowout script. New Orleans got completely batshit crazy there. And SGA is expensive at 10-7 in a game that obviously the spread gets wider and wider. It's starting to come back down after hitting 6, moving back to 5 here as Eric Gordon got ruled in. You got confirmed Nurkic there as well. But at the same time, 9,200 is a pretty steep discount going up against San Antonio. We know San Antonio this season, they bring absolute pace, third in that regard, 101.8 possessions per 48 minutes there. And defensively, they're just as inept as what Indy is. So 117.6 adjusted defensive rating. I look at across the board, like 9,200. It's just, for me, something that I was planning on being over coming into this slate if, I had gone through my old process. But between him, Cade Cunningham, Emmanuel Quickly, I'm just kind of landing between 7K, 9K, playing all those dudes. And SGA is a luxury item. I'm sure, once we get the starting lineup here for Charlotte and kind of see exactly how things pan out. But we have like value in a couple of spots that I feel pretty comfortable with. We'll see how everything pans out, but I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be under on SGA, even though I really, really want to be over.
Okay. You said the magic word there. The magic word is Charlotte. Top 7 most popular plays as we are currently projecting them on DraftKings all come from the Charlotte-Toronto game. For the top 4 from FanDuel as well, and 6 of the top 9 on FanDuel are coming from that game. It's a crazy world that we will be living in. Emmanuel Quickly, one of your favorites for quite some time here. How are you feeling about him tonight? He has an intriguing PRA, depending on where you're looking for it, points plus rebounds plus assists. We're giving up, 35 or so minutes, about 50 fantasy points that need to be filled across a variety of statistical categories without Scotty Barnes. For those of you that didn't know, he fractured his hand on Friday against the Warriors. Good chance he's out for the rest of the season. So, wow, not many familiar faces left there in Toronto from last year.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like from a betting perspective, it's about probability and price. And Emmanuel Quickly, his points prop's at 21.5, his assist prop is at 7.5, his rebounds at 4.5, his overall PRA is at what is that altogether? I'm just doing the math. Carry the one, 32.5. 32.5 is kind of where you're looking at. There's no way that I'm going to be tangling with that here against Charlotte. Charlotte is just so bad defensively. I mean, they've been improved at times over the course of the last couple of weeks, depending on what sample size you're working with. Obviously, the addition of Grant Williams, they can get away from having Nick Richards out there, Mr. Flat-footed Nick Richards, but Charlotte's still 29th over the course of this season in adjusted defensive rating. Problem for me is that they don't bring a ton of pace here, and we have so many like pace up type spots. 98.2 possessions per 48 minutes for Charlotte. I get, like, for me, from a betting perspective, like I wouldn't be touching the Emmanuel Quickly. It feels pretty efficient. But from a DFS perspective, it's about price and probability as well. And, there's no doubt that he is underpriced for this situation. I think it's pretty easy to land on a lot of him. Jakob Poeltl, I have quite a bit of here in my first lineup set. We've still got 48 minutes of stuff. Some stuff can change here based on what we've got with the Bruce Brown stuff. Well, I mean, he's still in my lineups here right now. Bruce Brown, is he officially out now?
I thought he was.
Okay, because I've still got him. Yeah, he's officially out. So he's still showing up for me. So I got to take him out and rerun some stuff. But I mean, that's going to make the Grady Dick play look a lot better. I was already anticipating getting there once Bruce Brown was downgraded. Obviously, that was something I just needed to take him out, and I forgot to. So I will rerun some stuff here and give you a more informed decision. But Emmanuel Quickly was already intriguing to me. We've got him projected for 40 fantasy points. He's got positive leverage. Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team, as the Lego movie would say.
All right. You mentioned betting there. I see over your shoulder you have the BetMGM logo. They are the presenting sponsor here of the show today. So I want to call out that their current offer is bet $5, get $150 in bonus bets. How do you do that? Step 1, go through the link in the YouTube description below us here. Step 2, you need to deposit $10. And step 3, make one $5 wager. As soon as you make that $5 wager, it's got to be a $5 or more wager, they will give you $150 in bet credits. Remember, the legal age for gambling in most states is 21 or older. And if anybody you know has a gambling issue, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Producer Jacob just dropped that into the chat there for us. All righty. So you're not a fan of Quickly in the betting world, but okay with him in DFS. How do you feel about Mr. RJ Barrett?
Oh, this guy is the bane of my existence. As I'm like rerunning some stuff, I haven't gotten RJ Barrett right in quite some time. Again, it's such an arbitrary thing to say because there's so many times that you just don't notice that a player's in your lineups. Oh, I had quite a bit of him against Dallas there on the 28th. Okay, so I'm just looking at like old CSVs and going through it. But RJ Barrett is great with positionality. 7,600 is not ideal. But he's 21% owned for a reason. I think there's going to be some negative leverage as we get everything finalized here in the boom bust tool. But at the same time, he's a high upside option with nice positionality and an opportunity to wreck against Charlotte. Does the usage continue to be there in some kind of a way for him? Because it's been, I would say, pretty consistent between 23, 26% usage constantly here. But Grady Dick isn't going to bring a ton of usage as he plays more minutes, 15.8% usage, but yet somehow, some way it's identical to Bruce Brown Jr. So it's kind of a 1-for-1 swap, just in terms of when you put their minutes in together. RJ Barrett, though, he's over a fantasy point per minute guy. We've got him at 34 minutes. He's projecting for nearly 40 fantasy points. hard not to really like that here against Charlotte.
All righty. Anything else from the guard position? Lots
Of things from the guard position. I've got some interest in some weird ones, which again, this is going to change as I didn't have Bruce Brown out yet, which was my own fault there. Just trying to comb through the desert, Spaceball style. But looking at Darius Garland right now, this is somebody that I really like. I understand the matchup is terrible going up against the Knicks here, but you kind of want to have a plan in place there. Darius Garland in the Garden here. They're still questionable, Karis LeVert and Donovan Mitchell. And in the event that you get them both out, yay. Like that's an awesome opportunity to really see some extra run here. Some extra usage. I mean, it just changes his rates. He's going to get the same amount of run. He's going to play 35, 36 minutes, I think, no matter what. They're 4-point favorites here. At home, it is. They're not in the Garden. But I'm feeling pretty confident in Darius Garland as a guy that could just look exponentially better here after lock. So we'll see how the next 44 minutes play out. But like, that is surely somebody that I would want to be overweight to if we get to lock and nobody, and we don't have that news yet.
With just the LeVert news, we already know that Mitchell is out.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at here. I don't know why my injury report stuff isn't updating in my sheet today. This is really, really annoying to me because normally it just automatically does it when I click a button, and I'm not getting that to happen. I have Jaren Jackson Jr. doubtful. Thank you so much, sheet, for updating tomorrow's news. I don't care about that. So, so that's annoying. Nick Richards being out, though. I mean, this is going to be a fun slate here. Bruce Brown, yeah, we got that news 54 minutes ago. Why is this not updating on my end? It's pretty annoying.
I would definitely have some words with your people. Perhaps a strongly worded email is justified.
Well, you mean like something to salvage email or maybe a Slack message or two?
Oh, yes. Good call out. Just the shared nakedness of all of that is something else. We have DK
tit for tat, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, good one.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We have our favorite Ace of Spades question. He would like to know if you have a bottle full of bub and you're chilling in the club, what are you going to be there with?
I got the, if you're into, so come give me a hug. That's a little creepy. Edit. Come give me a hug if you're into getting rough. That's a little creepy at this point in time. I think we can tone it down, Fitty. Come on now. All
right. So we've got tiers ahead of us here.
Malachi Branham is starting. Okay. Interesting.
Okay. You did mention
nailed
that.
It.
And we got a tweet here from someone watching the show, and I wanted to give them a shout out. They're from Austin. I think their name was Butler, I believe. He said Pop has been on the record as saying he wants to keep Keldon Johnson and on the second unit a little bit away from Wembanyama because he doesn't want to stunt the development of Wembanyama. So good call out there by him. Appreciate that additional information. That's Matt Butler from Austin.
Word.
So Ace of Spades, we've got tier 1, Victor Wembanyama, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, separated by half a fantasy point here. You want to roll with Wemby since we don't have to worry about the salary?
Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously, between him and SGA, it would appear, because of all the options that we have here at point guard, we have Trey Mann in that mid-range. We have Misic, who's going to be just uber popular, not to be confused with actual Uber. And then you've got just the positionality for him. Look at power forward. You've got Olynyk, who's going to be crazy popular, but has the center eligibility. A lot of power forward centers that are just showing up at the top of the board. Grant Williams is crazy popular. Miles Bridges is crazy popular. Even Davis Bertans pulling some ownership here. So, like, I like getting away from specifically the Grant Williams ownership at 50%. Like, not going to have zero, obviously, in, an allotment of 50 lineups, but Davis Bertans, for sure, I'm looking at trimming that off. One of the best ways to spend up, I think, today is getting to a 10-4 Victor Wembanyama. Indy, we know the pace that they bring. They are the creme de la creme. Actually, they're second behind Washington now here, under 2.5 possessions per 48, 26th in adjusted defensive rating. And yeah, they don't really care about playing defense. So that's useful for a guy like Victor Wembanyama. Oh, and he's averaging 3.3 blocks and 1.3 steals per game to buoy that box score playing 31, 32 minutes. Like, I mean, this dude's ridiculous. So Victor Wembanyama at 10-4, I like more than getting to the top end at SGA for 10-7.
All right. Tier 2, we're looking at Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson up there at the top, basically separated by a point.
I didn't know we were going through tiers here. Yeah, Halliburton.
All right, tier 3. Miles Bridges stands out well above, almost 5 fantasy points above everybody. That one's pretty easy, going against the dilapidated Toronto Raptors. Tier 4 gets a little crowded. You have RJ Barrett, Devin Vassell, and Franz Wagner all separated by 1.5 points. Do you have a particular lean there? Perhaps Wagner in Detroit or going against Detroit?
Yeah, it's actually going to be RJ Barrett, which again, okay. I think this is the closest of the tiers that we have today.
Some would say he's Dookie, but I don't know.
Wow. Well, no, he went to Michigan.
Oh, who am I thinking of then?
Franz Wagner. He went to.
No, I was saying RJ Barrett. I know.
RJ Barrett definitely went to Duke. Yeah, yes, that is correct.
Yeah. No, Wagner. That's what I was.
I thought you were still talking about Wagner for some reason.
We've moved on. I caught a flight with the Valkyries. So.
Caught a vibe. Go ahead.
T5, tier 5, Darius Garland.
Yeah, and Garland could get nuked. Yeah, absolutely nuked if you get Karis LeVert out.
Yep, I would. That's not even the question there. And then now we get a fun one here. It's pretty clear in tier 6.
It's Olynyk by a lot.
It's Olynyk. So let's use that as the fulcrum to kind of go into the front court here. It's hard to say who really is filling in for Scotty Barnes because it's going to have to be everybody picking up different aspects of their game. But it does seem like Kelly Olynyk, he should be the new tank commander because he is so good on these bad teams.
Yeah, but I mean, part of it is that Kelly Olynyk can actually play basketball. I mean, that's useful, and we don't have enough of a sample size for him without Scotty Barnes out there, but it's pretty easy to approximate. And we had 61 minutes, 18.8% usage, been pretty decent, 73.5% effective field goal percentage without Barnes on the field. I expect negative regression for that, but overall, I mean, this is just a different opportunity for a lot of these guys. Again, RJ Barrett, he makes me feel a little uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable as long as we see Kelly Olynyk starting there next to Jakob Poeltl. 30 minutes, you just put him in for that, and you're going to get him in just about everything. Brought it up again, though. Grady Dick, this is the one guy that I think could just really make things interesting on the Toronto side of things. But Gary Trent, you're worried about what that usage can look like not worried about the usage, but you're just worried about him getting other stats and looking at his fantasy portfolio. Kelly Olynyk does a little bit of everything, and that makes me feel so much more comfortable jamming a guy like that at his price point than like a Gary Trent. And it would appear the field feels the same way, positionality a little bit better too, even though every Charlotte guy, it would appear, has power forward eligibility, and they're just all getting jammed to the top of the board. But I am far more inclined to be, it's like full steam ahead on Kelly Olynyk.
We have an update here on Donovan Mitchell. Coach Bickerstaff says that he remains questionable despite other reports saying he's unlikely to play.
That's what I was saying. Maybe that's what's happening right now with my sheet, is that it doesn't like liars.
That was good intuition there by your sheet.
No, actually it was an error on my part. I didn't hit refresh, so I'm an idiot.
Slide right into that. Take that one home.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't my fault. I didn't screw it up. Barrett is fool's gold.
Victory lap. That's what this is all about.
Oh yeah, that's right. Can I victory lap Malik Monk from Friday, even though it's Sunday now? And I know I did not play DFS yesterday. I was very happy. Well, I played MMA. That was fun, except for, just.
Well, I'd like to give you a hearty handshake there because your Malik Monk saved me on FanDuel because I had 30% Anthony Edwards. And thought I was Dunsky, and then that was a monster second half there.
It's a pretty wild run out, man. Nobody had any idea what was going on. That was just wild. Congrats, though, first kid.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. Greg and I talked a little bit about it yesterday. It's one of those where it's like, what are you going to do? Right? It's just.
Did Greg tell you the same thing he said to me? Shame to the household and.
No,
I feel as though it's all in chest. I mean, I love Anthony Edwards. That is my absolute dude. By the way, I needed God, I'm going to have to watch some of this fourth quarter while we're live here. I mean, the Clippers went on a crazy run there towards the end of the first half, and no Russell Westbrook for them, but Norman Powell, Amir Coffey playing more minutes. Now Bones Highland in the rotation right now. It's weird stuff to watch there, but 70-69 there coming down to the end of that one.
Wait, he is back in the rotation?
Yeah, Bones Highland, he's playing today.
I saw him play one game, and I thought it was just like a...
Played 14 minutes so far. He's up plus 11 right now, plus minus. And only played 14 minutes, 0 points, but I don't know. I he's playing for a job right now. This is an opportunity for him to actually do something for them. I don't think he can. I don't think he's very good. Most people don't, but you want to prove people wrong, this is your opportunity.
You get a shout out here from Homer James. He says, "Thank you for Malik Monk. That made me some money."
I love that. It makes me happy.
All right, back to our front court here. Kevin Durant is playing. This is a back-to-back overtime game last night, 39 minutes. He's playing about 39 minutes a game. Phoenix is half a game out of the play-in tournament at this point. They're in definite must-win territory here. How are you liking him without Devin Booker tonight?
Kevin Durant, is pretty good. He looks pretty good. Only one position, so 9,700 there. Again, I still can't get this thing to rerun here on my end. I still have 34 minutes, so I'm not going to panic, but that'd make for good YouTube, I suppose. But Kevin Durant, he should be doing absolutely everything here for this basketball team tonight. The thing is, Bradley Beal is in, and I'm not going to say it suppresses it by any means. I still think we're going to get my assumed starting lineup is Beal, Allen, Nurkic, O'Neal, Durant, but wouldn't surprise me if they went to Eric Gordon. Wouldn't surprise me if they just had Saban Lee do a spot start and still kept, you could have Royce O'Neal come off the bench here in some capacity, but feels pretty unlikely for me against Oklahoma City. I mean, this guy would look a lot better if it wasn't such a difficult matchup and if they weren't on a back-to-back. I don't think there's 40-minute upside here on the back-to-back. They played Houston yesterday. Didn't particularly play well. He played 39 minutes in that spot. We've got him in at 35 and a half minutes. I doubt they want to be forcing him out there, but I've said this before on other shows, and obviously I'm on the under 48 and a half wins here for Phoenix coming out of the All-Star break, but they have the most difficult strength of schedule the rest of the way. And this is kind of the real kickoff point for it. Not beating Houston yesterday was a little bit problematic for him. No Devin Booker tonight is very problematic for them. It's only a 5-point spread, so it's not crazy, but Kevin Durant, just a guy that I'm at the field on, and normally you get one of Booker or Beal out and you're just oh, I'm obviously going to get to Kevin Durant. Somehow not the case, and it's just speaking to how good the 7-8K mid-range is between the Miles Bridges, the Emmanuel Quickleys, the RJ Barretts, everybody that's cheap from Charlotte. I'm just not really finding myself there. And then if I do pay up, I just get to Wembanyama in the best game environment, the 244 total that we've got going in the late night hammer, or not before the late night hammer.
All right. So we've got sketchy news here. We've got another super chat we'll get to in a minute asking for some DK plays. We've got, let's see what else. Oh, it's almost the bottom of the hour. Isn't this usually when something gets destroyed?
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you say it. You say it, Mr. Inappropriate.
I insist. Don't make me go into my Slim Pickens rant here. That's one of my favorite soliloquies of all the movies, where he's listing off everything in the survival kit. Have you seen that movie, Dr. Strangelove?
Nope.
You really haven't. For all the movies you've seen.
I know. I have not seen Dr.
I'm legitimately surprised a little bit here.
I apologize. I hate to disappoint you, EMac. It's the thing I want to do least, because in your 284 years on Earth, you've only been disappointed a handful of times because you expect humanity to be miserable.
I know they are. That's their default position. But in the meantime, let's watch Eric get his junk blown up.
Here we go. Maybe. There it goes. Boom, skis.
All right.
Oh. Yep. Just blowing up all over the place. Cool. Great. Grand. We continue forward. You ready to rock with this one, EMac? Because it's going to get weird.
Is it going to be quixotic and erotic? No.
That was a little bit forced, but I appreciate it. Have people watched Devin Vassell play basketball recently? Because this San Antonio Indy game is completely berserk, and he's 21% owned. But again, I'm a little bit surprised to not see him even more popular playing alongside Mr. Victor Wembanyama. This guy has had usage and minutes out the wazoo. 39, 38 minutes. Now, given you had the overtime festivities there in one of those, but ridiculous minutes allotment, ridiculous opportunity. The usage has been through the roof, averaging nearly 27% usage over his last 9 games. I don't know. It just feels like Indy, him and Halliburton are both a little bit underutilized, it would appear. And something tells me we'll be able to do a little bit of like, what is it? We're a little bit of reverse engineering here. We get late swap back. We have an opportunity to maneuver our lineups back. We have the opportunity to get to Darius Garland. If you have Karis LeVert here out, you should already probably be getting some Darius Garland in your life. But I like holding on to some pieces of that Indy San Antonio game and just hoping that you get one of those 260, 265 Indy games that just pop up from time to time. Halliburton being competent. And obviously this is a much better spot here for him. I love Devin Vassell. I love getting to San Antonio, specifically Wembanyama, a little bit of Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson as well, who I know that you were interested in. I think they're all really good contrarian pieces. And outside of Halliburton, it's really hard to land on a ton from Indy. I might get to some Aaron Nesmith in some capacity now with him back here, shooting guard, small forward. But God, I love getting to San Antonio here. So Devin Vassell, nuke of the night.
We've got a couple questions here in Discord of all places, because that's where the subs can hang out and ask us some questions here. A couple key ones here, and this will dovetail on Phil Senzik's question as well. First one we have is, I haven't run the stuff yet, but Sniff says Thor is showing up a lot. I'm assuming that's JT Thor?
JT. Yeah. So this is
Does
one
he
of those.
score more than 0.6 fantasy points per minute? I haven't looked at him in forever.
No. I mean, here's the thing. He is very low owned right now. He is a 0.6 fantasy point per minute producer. But if you put him in for 22, 24 minutes, it's very viable because he allows for you to get to so much. Power forward center. There are a lot of really good power forward centers that exist here, but this is just kind of the classic thing that we've had show up from time to time here throughout this season, where you get these guys at 5-7% and they run into an outlier script where he plays 28 minutes, or, he actually produces for the first time in forever. I think there's ways that JT Thor jumps up to like a 0.75, 0.8 fantasy point per minute producer. And he's a flat 3K, gives you access to absolutely everything, and kind of, has a built-in floor just because of the price point. I don't know if I'm going to be getting to tons of him here because once again, Grady Dick is sitting there at 4,400. We have Trey Mann. We have Misic. We have some guys sub 5K that I do like getting to, but wouldn't be surprised if I got myself to some JT Thor when I finish everything out.
That's just terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, it's awful. Thor's, what's the opposite of Thor's hammer? Because that's what JT Thor uses.
A Nerf.
There you go. It's a Nerf gun.
Something.
Nerf.
Any thoughts on Grant Williams? You kind of hit on him as we were getting into the tiers section a little bit. You want to circle back on that?
No, because it's Grant Williams. Like,
okay, I'm just these are super.
I know. No. I know what you're getting at, and I mean, we gotta get him starting here still. I assume he starts, don't you? Like, I think that's the assumption we're all under.
Yeah.
Like, what else would they even do? I mean, that's kind of the reason that I think JT Thor is getting the attention that he is here. I mean, it's him and Davis Bertans, but one is a flat 3K with multi-positional eligibility, and the other one's Davis Bertans. So, yeah, not the exotic play of the night, Davis Bertans, that's for sure.
Akbaji is going to start for Scotty Barnes.
Oh, no.
Did not see that one coming.
Why? So this really screws up the Olynyk stuff to some extent. I assume that we're going to get quickly Trent, Barrett, Agbaji and Pirtle. So joy. And I think part of this that they're going to Agbaji is the same thing I was thinking, where it's like, Kelly Olynyk and Jakob Poeltl next to each other. I mean, I'm surprised they're not doing it because they forced that to be Bridges Grant Williams guarding like two true centers, basically. And the inverse isn't all that worrisome. Like, I'm pretty sure Olynyk can handle his own against Grant Williams, Jakob Poeltl, Bridges, or, you could crisscross that. But whatever. It's going to be RJ Barrett doing some Miles Bridges work. That seems kind of advantageous for Bridges.
Okay, here's the comparison for you. Akbaji or JT Thor, if you were forced to play one of them. They're about the same type of fantasy production.
I'll take the poison for door number 3.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know yet. I mean, this is so hard. I knew we'd get the Toronto lineup. I just kind of was going along with the assumption everybody else had. I thought Kelly Olynyk would start. I mean, he's pulling 50+% ownership, 5,700 here in this spot. Oh, is this tilting? He hasn't started a game for him, but he did play 28 last time out. So, I mean, I don't want to go crazy downgrading him, but he's going to be overowned now. He's going to be overowned. This is going to be very tough for a guy who is traditionally like a 1.14, 1.13 here. We had him as a 1.2 fantasy producer here in this matchup, which I think is very viable. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say for this matchup, yeah, he's going to be higher. So I still like him. We got the official Pistons lineup. It's Cunningham, Ivy, Thompson, Stewart, and Jalen Duren. So no surprises there.
Boss Basket. Why the fuck is Agbaji starting? I fucking hate the NBA. Yeah, no, I totally get that feeling. They hate us. And it's weird too, because Agbaji, if anybody watched him play at Kansas, he was good in college. And this is like one of those classic, like, he's a little bit undersized. He's really not going to be able to get away with, like, you got to create separation there if you're undersized. He just has no handle. He has no ability to create his own shot at the NBA level, and just getting walloped by these dudes. Yeah, I don't understand the Agbaji starting thing, but you might as well, when you're Toronto, just figure out what you got around you here. It's just a weird lineup, and I hate it.
All right, this is from Phil Senzig. Which players are you giving ROI boosts to? I am playing both sides tonight, Mr. Lindquist.
You're a braver man than myself. I'm playing I've just DK. Here, right? Yeah. So. Well, I mean, it allows for us, again, we were going to get these starting situations. I thought we would be sitting on some Phoenix stuff. We're not sitting on anything outside of just like starting lineups. And now we got the Branham news. And ended up being right about that one. Baji. Yeah. I mean, there's the Karis LeVert piece that's still sitting in the wings. And I think, for me, that's probably going to be the underutilized spot on this slate. Like, it's a terrible matchup going up against New York. They have 106.5 team total here without Donovan Mitchell out there, but the opportunity goes up. I think Isaac Okoro, 4,200, was somebody I was getting to earlier. We'll see if he ends up showing up here. But yeah, it is indeed quickly Trent, Agbaji, Barrett, and Poeltl. What a time to be alive. I guess Sam Merrill probably is the question mark for me. If you get Karis LeVert out, we saw 25 minutes for Merrill, which I wasn't expecting. He was a flat 3K. If he's up to 3,500 here and people just don't click on him whatsoever, I know I've never gotten him right in my life, but I got to take some shots there. The usage should be there in some capacity. He's not a high usage guy, but he's just a good shooter. So he can get there on a little bit of low volume if he's efficient. He is a 0.91 fantasy point per minute producer. So does a little bit more than you would expect considering he's Sam Merrill. Oh boy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
So you Bustier, the Bustier, if you will. Anybody getting a little love?
Well, I'm just going through my lineups here right now, and the JT Thor thing is definitely real at the moment. I just don't know what to do about it. He's 3K flat. I don't want to be locking somebody up, I think, early on here in this spot. Toronto's 7. Everybody's saying exotic play now. Just hold it. We're chilling. We're kicking it here. I will be ROI boosting as I'm looking through my lineups here. I just don't want to say anything that ends up not coming to fruition. So I have to rerun all my stuff here and make sure that I'm not lying. I'm pretty sure Devin Vassell is somebody that I'm going to be ROI boosting. Tyrese Halliburton, I'm probably going to be slightly ROI boosting. But again, almost everything else, I feel pretty good about our projections on guys today. We got the updated starting lineups. It's more of just like, how much of JT Thor can I stomach? How much Grant Williams can I stomach in my lineups today? Because I kind of have acid reflux with both.
Yeah.
Don't you? You feel great about Grant Williams?
I feel better about him than the other guys.
That's probably true. I feel horrible because Kelly Olynyk was going to be like an all-in jam for me, and I don't know if he's going to be anymore.
I'm gonna wish cast that into happening with my lineups just because. Why not? It's Sunday. We can do whatever we want. We may not be able to financially recover from it, but we can do whatever we want. Do you feel exotic when Greg's not on the show, or is that
no? I don't feel that way.
Okay.
I don't feel it when Greg's on shows. I don't feel like I need to throw that person out there. But it's got to be Misic at this point. Like 4,300 for him. Like, come on now, officially starting for Charlotte. Like,
little bit of a European flavor there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So, love is.
That actually, I'm glad he's starting. That helps my under.
Love is blind.
My under on Trey Mann, PRA.
Is this his first career start? It is.
I believe
he started in the preseason, but
yeah,
I just was going through some of his rates, and I just was like, "Hey, how's he done in his starting?" Oh, that has never happened, so that's enjoyable. He's probably the best play on the slate. 4,300 point guard, shooting guard eligibility. 0.8 fantasy point per minute producer. 32 minutes. Like.
How many shots do you think he'll take?
Not enough.
6.5 is the over under. What do you got?
Oh, I'll take the over. I'll take the over on that. Because I mean, we see like 4, 5, 6, and he played like 15, 16, 24 minutes in those. He played, I would say, consider we're putting him in for 30, 32. I would definitely have the over of that. It would be heavily juiced.
Okay.
Not saying he's going to fucking make them. Especially because I basically have 100% of him right now.
Oh, okay. All right.
All right. So now I got all of this stuff. I can speak a little bit more intelligently. I'm still playing a ton of Kelly Olynyk, so I want to get that out of there first. I have 84% Misic. I have 72% Kelly Olynyk. I have 62% Brandon Miller, who we haven't even talked about yet. Trey Mann, 58%. Darius Garland, my next guy now in point guard. So as I'm working through this, JT Thor 35%. We might have to do something about that. That is pain and suffering. Let's change the nuke of the night. I've never done this on the fly here, but one thing that I gotta say is that if Caris LeVert is playing basketball tonight, you should roster him, right? Like he's got to be stepping in there. So we still have a questionable Donovan Mitchell because that got updated. Caris LeVert questionable here, but like 28 minutes of Caris LeVert against the Knicks coming off the bench. Like this feels like a spot where he's going to have like 2 or 3% ownership when he really, really shouldn't. It's in Cleveland here. I'm talking myself into giving a little bit of a boost to Caris LeVert to make sure that I get him in lineups.
Okay. I did not foresee
It's a pretty easy price point to make stuff work with those other games.
So what's the order of games here? I should know that. I think isn't it two at 6, 2 at 7? Yeah, 2 at 6, 2 at 7, and then the 9:30.
Yes, correct.
Which is not on FanDuel.
I only have 14% Grant Williams. Do you know how happy it makes me that I only have 14% Grant Williams?
How happy?
I am ecstatic. I have more Davis Bertans than I have Grant Williams.
Davis Bertans, man, he made 1/2 of a season into an amazing contract.
Yeah. What do you think about Mo Wagner today as well? Because that's a guy that we haven't talked about in the early window. Detroit's terrible here. If it's a blowout, he's a 1.1 fantasy point per minute guy. And we've had him play a lot more minutes than Wendell Carter the last two. Like, I guess 19 last time out, but 26, that one stood out to me working through the box score from last time out. Wendell Carter, 5,400, can't really land on that considering he's played all of 22 and 22 minutes. Those minutes have really fallen by the wayside. They've gone to some smaller lineups and then to like a lot of Mo Wagner here in some places. The guy has a 23% usage over the course of this season, and there's a part of me that wants to get to a little bit if nobody is going to click on him, but I'm worried we get to lock and everybody sees what I'm seeing with him. And, we've got him projected at 7%. I could see him artificially north of 10% because of last game.
But how much more than 10%?
It's a good question. Power forward's loaded now.
Yeah. So I haven't got to see him in a lot of crappy Wizards games. He is kind of the embodiment of Marcin Gortat or Ivica Zubac, in that they go out there in their first rotation, rip shit up, come off the court with like 7 points, 3 rebounds, and then they end the game with 9 points and 4 rebounds. That's just great. What happens.
That's not great. I will tell you the players that I are ghosted now. Tyrese Halliburton, gave him a little bit of love because I love the matchup, and I love that he just played like absolute dog doo-doo, and everybody's worried about him and the ceiling's falling in. So I think that that's pretty darn great. And then, I got to 22. Our Sims tool is going to get you some Karis LeVert right from the get-go, so I don't even have to touch that one. And the last one, Cade Cunningham. I'm going to give him a little bit of a love tap. It's a terrible spot against Orlando, but I mean, we just saw him go completely ballistic against the Knicks, so it's not really one of those things where for him, I'm that worried about like the matchup. I'm not saying he's matchup proof, but like he's had a 34% usage. He had it in 3 consecutive games before the last 2 against Chicago and Cleveland. It went down 25 and 27.5. Isaiah Stewart is back, but 8,100 for him here. It feels like a player who's won tournaments for people a lot here of late. And if this game stays a little bit more competitive, they really ramped up his minutes, like 36, 37, pretty much every time out now.
All right. Real quick, want to remind everybody, 1, hit that like button. 2, we are offering the Stochastic, rock the Stochastic Avatar deal. So you can go to stochastic.com/avatar, download the Stochastic Avatar, upload that to your DFS site of choice, finish first, second, or third, top 3, first, second, or third. 3-way tie for first is great. 80-way tie for first? Nope, that's not a 3-way tie. So if you do that and send a screenshot of your Stochastic logo and that victory to Stochastic HOF on Twitter, you will get to choose 1 month of any package up to $199 on Stochastic for that little honor. We also have put together the full data bundle. I dropped that link into the chat there. There are some people that said, yeah, we don't want everything with the Sims, but we still want to keep the data. So we've sort of parsed that out. That is $299. But it's $100 off if you are rocking the Stochastic Avatar. So we are looking to give you guys some discounts there. That comes with the player projections, ownership projections, boom bust tool, all the top tools, top stacks, etc. Unlimited data for all the supported sports. You get Discord, and then you get the basic level of Sims. But that is, again, we're parsing that out from the Sims. So check that out. All right. What else do we have for news? I think I should start running lineups. We got the now my stuff isn't updating. Now I'm just getting that Vasily Misic actual news. I wondered why it didn't come off on my stuff. Okay, well, great. There we go. Have we updated projections, or we must be good? Yes.
Yeah, we just got it at 246. So I'm doing one more run through in the Sims tool. Again, after I was kind of toying with it, I just opened up another tab. I'm just gonna upload it all in one more spot. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes for me to really get it the way that I want, and then I'll be able to tell you exactly what I have. Like, we can go by position, we can work through some stuff, but again, the Kelly Olynyk one is the hardest one for me to really grasp what's going to happen with the field, with the reaction to him not being in. He's been projected north of 50% ownership as the presumed starter the entire day. I gotta think he's still going to be popular, and there's obviously a minutes downside. We kind of just saw like the minutes upside for him. Like that's what has me worried is he played 28 against Golden State. And that's like the perfect Kelly Olynyk matchup where you have like 2 undersized 4s who are basically playing the 4 and the 5 in Kuminga and Draymond Green. And you rotate him in. It was a blowout. Lots of ways that things just really went well for him there. I'm a little bit trepidatious to have like 80% of him or 70% of him like I was planning on having, or almost like nearly 100. It feels like he's still going to be popular. And if he plays 22, 23 minutes, I'd be really, really mad at myself regardless of what that box score looked like. So you don't feel that way at all.
Yeah.
It's okay. Honestly, EMac, I want you to be mean to me. I want you to tell me how stupid I am. That would be so hot.
No, that's Greg's job.
Oh, okay. That's right. Sorry. I was feeling a little lonely. It's okay. Go ahead and be nice.
And we start running my stuff. Let's see. Grady or Akbaji with
I like Grady Dick more. I like Grady Dick more still.
All right. And then if you want to kind of walk through your top DK plays, that'll clear up our last super chat there for, I think that was
awesome. I'll be able to tell you here in two. Well, actually, I can tell you right now. I'll go through my last run because I don't think it's going to change as far as top plays all that much. I've got Misic and Man. I don't see how you get away from playing them, the Charlotte guys there. At shooting guard, Misic and Miller. I don't see how you get away from playing them. At small forward, it's Miller and Bridges. Again, just listing off the Charlotte guys, but I think it is really good chalk, which is an insane thing to say because it's freaking Charlotte, but they just are playing these guys so many minutes, and they just don't want to go too far down the bench there. They've shown no desire whatsoever all season long to go to, they called up Amari Bailey, and Leaky Black is back with the team, former North Carolina kid. Nick Smith Jr. is back with the G League. JT Thor is going to be in this. You got a two-way. Marquise Bolden is probably going to be the guy who gets some minutes. I actually projected him for a couple, but Bryce McGowan's, Davis Bertans, JT Thor, they're basically just an 8-man rotation with like 30 plus for everybody that should be out there, barring a blowout. So for me, those point guard through small forward aren't going to change. What is probably going to change for me is power forward. It is right now Miles Bridges and Victor Wembanyama, pretty darn close to each other. And I am way down on Grant Williams. He is going to be the guy that I am actively cheering against today. And at center, it is Jakob Poeltl.
So wait, what is your Grant Williams exposure then?
8 now.
8?
I have 8% of a 50 or 60% on Grant Williams, yes.
Interesting.
And I've played Grant Williams when he's been low owned at a lot of these times, but like he's actively somebody that he's going to be in like 60% of lineups here. He's a 0.7 fantasy point per minute guy with a 15% usage under all circumstances going back to Dallas. Obviously, circumstances have changed drastically here for him because, again, playing alongside Luka Kyrie, that'll do it. It'll suppress some of those rates, but oh boy, 4,600 for him. If he's going to be this popular, I just like getting to the other pieces of the range and like getting to some JT Thor. I like getting to Wembanyama at the top end. It feels like I'm going to be paying up a lot more than the field is to get to Wemby, to some of these other power forward options. And obviously Miles Bridges on his own team there. I think this is just a spot where I'll take the field. I'll take the Durant. I'll take the Bertans as a lower owned. He's 1/3 of the ownership of Grant Williams right now. Kind of like the Keldon Johnson shout out. You've kind of got me along for that one. 28, 30 minutes of him looks good against Indy, like most people are that are 5,200 with the fantasy point per minute rate against Indy. Don't mind. Again, Kelly Olynyk, I am way further down on now. I just can't do this. I can't play a ton of him here. I'm going to be hitting eject on a lot of this.
I am playing on DK 30% Kelly Olynyk. That is one of my stands. I set Brandon Miller.
Everybody's saying that's psychotic to me. Well, no, I mean, what's psychotic is that, obviously 3% Malik Monk Friday, that's a completely different circumstance. There was no late swap. People couldn't get into it. I kind of like being able to late swap around what happens with like some of the value in the earlier games. And like, I love the other Charlotte pieces of value, and Grant Williams is getting steamed, like absurdly steamed here right now. Not saying you shouldn't have some, but man, it is a ton of ownership. I feel like if I can enter more slates than not, knowing that 28 minutes of Grant Williams, 30 minutes of Grant Williams is what I'm fading at 60% ownership, knowing I have the entire rest of the board, I'm going to feel pretty good about those slates over a long-term sample size, getting to everything else.
We had somebody ask thoughts on Royce O'Neal. So here's kind of my thoughts. I was thinking we might get a bowl moment today when it looked like Nurkic could be out and potentially Eric Gordon not returning. I'm completely off that. The other thing you want to remember about Royce O'Neal, he's okay. He is the most likely reserve to get the most likely to get the most minutes, but you need to remember that Phoenix went out and got a bunch of capable, not great, but capable NBA players with Thaddeus Young, David Roddy, Theo Maledon. They also still have Saban Lee and Josh Okogie. They have people. I think Royce O'Neal is ahead of them at this point, but that could slip at any point in time. What are your thoughts on O'Neal?
I don't like him today purely because Eric Gordon's back. I don't even know if he starts.
Okay.
I think it's hard to know for sure if he ends up starting, I wouldn't be shocked at all. I'd actually say that it's more likely that he starts, but the price point has come up. It's a terrible matchup against OKC. Yeah, there's some pace involved, but like, again, they are very stout defensively. And I'm putting Eric Gordon at like 28.5 minutes. So for me, I don't love the idea of getting to Royce O'Neal here too, because I mean, I know that Devin Booker off the floor is nifty, but like you're replacing that with still 28 minutes, 30 minutes of Bradley Beal. They said a minute's range, whatever the hell that means. But I mean, Eric Gordon being back, I would have had interest in Bol, Royce O'Neal, trying to get to some of those guys in the late night hammer. But I think more times than not, with how good power forward is, and I am going to get to a little bit more Grant Williams here now that Kelly Olynyk, I went from like 80% of him to 20. That is now coming up in Grant Williams. So I'm not completely fan, but I'm still almost half the field here. I'm sitting at 28%. He is 60% owned. So I am, less than half the field.
Yeah, if you don't cap Grant Williams in some way, he is going to be in 70-80% of your lineups if you're running.
The Olynyk thing, taking that away here in the last couple minutes, that's just changed so much. I have so much Karis LeVert. This is the guy that I really want to have play basketball, and let's have Donovan Mitchell go out and see the sights in New York City. That would be great.
Are they in New York? Or I thought they were in Cleveland.
Or sorry, in Cleveland. Yeah, but I'm saying he can leave Cleveland and go to New York. That would make me so happy. I don't know why I believe that game is in New York in my head today. That's just stupid.
It's the concrete jungle where dreams are made. Just for you. New York. Who is that? Alicia Keys?
Not anymore, because she no longer wants to be here after you did that.
I'm sad. I like that
I love
song.
you, though. Do you have any Chet Holmgren? I feel like this is the guy that's going to put up 60 against Nurk, who's dinged up.
At this point, new.
Okay, me either.
But now you make me feel like I should probably get.
See, this is one of those things that happens where you're just like, I don't have this guy. Then you're trying to make a case for this. But like at the end of the day, the Sims tool does such a great job. The data does such a great job of encapsulating all of that and taking your opinion and your stomach out of it. Like if you can guess on news, which is basically what Malik Monk was, where it's like, okay, the rates change and it's pretty noticeable and you can see the upside and you can definitely see a path to just having way better lineups than everybody else has the capability of getting to. Great. But like, I don't think 8K Chet Holmgren is the reason that I'm going to end up winning anything here tonight. I don't see 65 on the table, but I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I would like to have some.
All right. I am going to download my. Can't do that.
I'm going to download mine too. Yep, this is the final version.
Filter, resort, quick favorite, 150, coming hot. Over there onto FanDuel, the dueling.
Anybody know how the golf is going right now? I need a golf update. How is EVR playing right now?
He didn't win the outright when I bet him the other week.
Yeah, well, I bet it with you, and it did not go well.
I think I bet it with you because you.
Yep, it was my idea.
You're right.
And now, guess who I also didn't bet this week? Eric Van Rooyen. But I played a ton of him in DFS, so that's good.
There we go. Boom. In there for FanDuel. That's the beauty of these Sims here. If you guys have been playing the Sims for like 3 weeks. We're 90 seconds till lock. I've been playing them for 3 weeks now. They are phenomenal. They're fantastic. I've been using them for MMA. Had 3 solid outings there on MMA. I've been using them now for NASCAR. I had gone to just playing a handful of NASCAR lineups, but this week I played 100 lineups just because we had the Sims. NASCAR's a fickle sport. I don't think I'll keep dabbling with NASCAR once we get MLB back, but I normally don't play that much in MMA, and I have been because these are pretty good. And I saw Greg's success, and I said, well, if Greg can do it, can't I? Right? Isn't that like saying it's so easy Greg could do it?
It is. Yeah, the caveman thing, I liked it.
Oh, upload those lineups, fellas and ladies, if you have not already. We are ticking down rapidly here. I always panic.
Emmanuel quickly, if you will.
There we go. With the quickness.
I had to get one in.
Just seeing that Karis LeVert orange GTD on my FanDuel pages is disconcerting, but
yeah, it's not great.
There we go.
Not great, Bob.
All right. Well, we are at lock, so thank you, everybody. We appreciate that. There's no playback tonight. Although I guess I can turn it on. There's people in there. Here, let me see. Oh, well, maybe we'll have producer Jacob turn it on, and then I'll keep an eye on it and keep it running.
We'll hang out in there for a little bit. We can do that.
Yeah, we can. Well, let's do that. Yeah, let's go over there. I haven't figured out how to set it up yet, so let's slide on over to playback. Let me drop that link into chat for you guys if you have not been there. We'll be there for a few minutes, see if we get any news, but then I got to keep packing, and it's not fun. Eric, I wish I could pay someone to do this.
Yeah, you should. That's what I did. It made life better. And I moved like 2 blocks. We bought a house 2 blocks from our old apartment, and it was still like, not for me. But yeah, Godspeed, my friend. You're heading down to wild territory, the land of the gators. So full time. Looking forward to the move though for you, my friend.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun down there in the Tampa Bay area. Good times. Hopefully no hurricanes. Fingers crossed. Global warming. Everybody recycle, please, because I really don't want the water to get any higher now that I'm in a low-lying state. But it is what it is. With that, we're gonna dip on over to playback. Thank you to producer Jacob. Everybody in YouTube, slide on over there. We'll put the game on. We'll have some fun. You guys can follow Eric on Twitter at Eric Lindquist. You can find me at EMac DFS, and of course, it is stochastic_COM. With that, gamers, good luck.
Turn this thing on. Oh,